with the SsangYong Utes Racing Series taking to the circuit for race number 2. Chris Pither back into the commentary box for this one. And tricky conditions prevailing, hopefully not as bad as what we saw earlier. This is how they'll line up. It's a reverse top 10 from race number 1 for Kirk Stoneman and Anthony Allen alongside each other on the front row. Joel Herbert, his sister racing here in the B&T NZB8's also doing a good job. Callum Hedge has been oh so exciting. The 14-year-old, he'll be starting inside the top 10 in this long list of cars. Hopefully we get to see some clean racing in this one. We did see some moments towards the back end of that earlier race, which is won by Christina West. She moves back to start in P10. And look at this long line, Chris, of SsangYong Utes ready to go for what should be an exciting 12-lap journey in these conditions.
It's definitely going to be exciting, mate. You can see already a lot of spray coming off those tyres. One of the good things, I guess, is they've got a road tyre on them. Should work well in these conditions, as they look like they're forming up now, nice and tight. Coming up over onto the ITM straight.
Red lights are on. Rolling start, 2x2, race 2 for the SsangYong Utes Racing Series. You can see Alexandra Whitley had her car fixed and is in the race as we get set for the lights to go out and the race to begin. They are stacked on top of each other and we go racing, and straight away there's action as we go 3 wide, about 4 cars back through the SsangYong sweeper. This is going to be tight. Still plenty of standing water on the inside of the circuit. And that's a seriously brave move around the outside from Murray Brook. If he can pull it up, he's sideways. This is not going to end well in front of half the pack, at least. Few take to the grass. Somehow, we've only got 2 cars that make contact in all of that. Total chaos, but it could have been much, much worse.
It's nearly in formation there with them both spinning off to the left. Thankfully out of the road of most of the cars coming through. No damage, thankfully, in that Chris on.
And out of all this, Callum Hedge has popped up into P4. We go on board with Whitley.
Just got his steering wheel straightened up after that crash in the last race too. I think that would be much more comfortable to drive.
Oh, down this treacherous back straight. Probably the most difficult part of the track in these conditions, according to the drivers so far. Stoneman's broken away for the lead. Christina West just running onto that exit curve. Despite the chaos on the opening stanza of this race, we've managed to just about complete a lap here, which is good news. Battle action onto the Husqvarna hairpin, side by side, banging doors. Let's relive this moment. Watch for the silver ute to go straight to the outside of the track. Started back in 12th, went around Christina West, got a ripping start. Thought, this is my game plan, I'll just drive around the outside of everyone. Fortunately, it didn't quite last. Let's go on board with Alexandra Whitley here.
Callum Hedge, it is on the way into turn 1 there off the start. And around the outside.
That was so ambitious.
He's already lost the rear, I think, at that point. Overcorrect slightly, yeah. Unfortunately, couple off track, but they don't seem to lose too much there.
Well, that's why Callum Hedge managed to pick up a few spots. Check it out once more.
From that point.
Tried to catch it, found the grass, then bounced over the curbs, tagged, sends Joel Herbert around. Whitley goes the grass. Hedge goes the grass, and they were pretty lucky to get through there. Can't believe more people didn't get caught up in that one. Anyway, back at the front, Stoneman leading the way from Allen, Pruting, Hedge, Barry, all diving on the brakes now.
Kirk Stoneman's probably got the most experience out there than anyone, so he'll be hard to pass here.
Oh, a bit more going on down at turn 5 this time. 3 cars caught up in that one. One of them was Matt Hyman in that 23. And maybe Ken Hunter caught up in that one as well. I only caught the back end of it. Still the leaders race hard. Reverse top 10 race.
Christina always hasn't managed to make too much ground yet. Still sitting in 10th place. Reasonably long race here. It's good for the reverse grid race here. They have plenty of time.
That was gone early, wasn't it? And bang, Alexandra Whitley caught up in that one as well. This is what it looked like from her point of view. That was pretty aggressive stuff in the mid-pack.
Yeah, potentially may have locked a break then, just didn't seem to be able to pull it up, and she tried to avoid to the left but tagged the rear, turning the other car around. About to come with a shot.
Oh. And that's unfortunately the second car she's put a mark on today. So instead of fixing the one from earlier, I thought that it'd be a pretty tight turnaround. She's hopped in the spare car to go racing in race 2 and trying to pull her way back through the field. There's been a fair bit of chaos going on. Meanwhile, how about this battle for second? Can Prouting catch it? No, he'll spin. Oh, they're all piling in. Shepherd, who was second on the grid for race 1, gets turned around. So too Anthony Allen, he's missing the front bumper.
Don't need a front bumper there. No.
Exactly, just keep going. No aerodynamic difference. Just put the loud pedal back down and push on. There it is.
I thought they were going to get away with that, but a bit of a secondary had, I think, just finished them off, unfortunately.
Wow, how did this one start? Let's go again. There's the initial contact.
Yeah.
And it got worse second time round. Bang! How's the contact between Rowan Shepherd, who was the innocent bystander and all of that, from Callum Hedges' point of view? He'll pick up quite a few spots here if he's clever about it. Oh, beautifully done by the 14-year-old, yes.
He committed quite early to go to the right, which would have paid off even if they made it through the corner, because he would have got a good run up to the hairpin, but thankfully just managed to thread the needle there, nip through the middle.
The other big winner was Peter Bennett. He came into that corner in 6th. He exited the corner in 2nd. That was a great drive. So there's parts lying around, all around the circuit at the moment. How about this, Christina All-West, side by side with Joel Herbert, and safety car has been deployed. And that'll be because we've got a fair amount of debris out there. We've got that bar sitting pretty much on the racing line out there at the moment. So the ITM Dale safety car will head out and pace the field. Or this is what I was talking about. You can hear the parts bouncing around.
I guess that's one of the big differences. These cars are very much a production car. When you compare it to something like a V8 supercar, they've got massive reinforcement in the front of the bumpers, secured much better, and you just tap the front of these and the bumper falls off.
Guys, there'll be a lot of people wondering why they're out racing when we couldn't get the supercars out racing. I'll give you a little bit of information. One of them is to do with this tyre. You can see it looks a lot like a road tyre. In fact, it's a little bit like this trailer tyre I've got behind me as well. The weight of that is unbelievable. They weigh just shy of 1,800 kilos, these SsangYong Utes. So they've got a lot more weight. They've got a much better tyre for moving that water out of the way, and they're about 1/5 the horsepower of a supercar. So a little bit safer for them to be out there, and also it's stopped raining.
So good news on all accounts then. Thank you, Cameron. Hopefully we'll push some of that standing water, particularly the big puddle that's down here in turn 1 off the racetrack. We'll try and dry this circuit out as much as we can. Hopefully we don't get much more rain before race number 23 is due to start later.
These guys might be able to build themselves a ute by the end of this race.
There'll be a few parts lying around. Reverse grid racing always leads to a little bit of chaos. Our brave officials getting out there. There's a few more tyre marks going across the grass at turn 3 as a result of all this as well. This place is going to look like there was a big party the night before when we all leave on Monday, because there's just parts of styrofoam signs everywhere. There's dirt, there's parts of race cars lying around. We've not even got into the supercars race yet. One of those weekends at the moment. So Vodafone safety car period. And Stoneman will bank the field up. Hopefully we'll get back to green flag conditions pretty soon. It shouldn't be a big cleanup. Supercars carrying a few battle wounds out there. Bennett, the big beneficiary of the earlier scrap. Lights out on the Vodafone safety car. Stoneman, Bennett, Hedge, Barry, Herbert, the top 5. How's Joel Herbert's form? Turned around at the first corner, still sitting P5.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. He must have really capitalised on those other incidents. So looking good with still 8 laps remaining.
Let's get back after it with the SsangYongs. Safety car back to the pits. We bring the speed back up.
Looks like Kirk Stoneman's already committed. Trying to carry plenty of speed up onto the start-finish straight for the restart. Got a bit of overlap there already.
14-year-old Callum Hedge going for second. And he did pass before the control line according to the timing screen. How will that one play out? Aggressive on the restart. Now drops back in behind Bennett. I wonder if he's thinking on his feet there.
Yeah, potentially.
With all this carnage, Christina All-West has jumped from 10th to 6th. She's the last car in this train. Very tight restart between the front guys, particularly that battle for P2. This is the onboard replay from Callum Hedge. Bit of wheel work going on. Now, does he roll out of the throttle to try and give that spot back? Hard to say. Either way, it's rectified itself. We'll see if the officials agree. The fight is on. Change for the lead. Bennett now the leader. Stoneman drops back to second. Christina All-West in this fight now. Fighting on Kane Barry, and here comes Joel Herbert up the inside. There's contact, and race 1 winner nearly gets speared off at the Husqvarna hairpin.
Kane Barry potentially was watching Christina, then didn't realise that Herbert coming up the inside. Open the door to Husqvarna hairpin.
Hedge with another really good entrance onto the ITM straight. He's lightning out of turn 11. So much so Stoneman just covers. Hedge goes to the outside. Top gear, racing for the lead. This would be very impressive if he does it on the outside of the SsangYong sweeper.
Hard pass going to be turned here at turn 2. He drops back in behind there, thinks better of it. He seems to be getting really good exits off the corner at the moment, Callum Hedge, especially onto the front straight. Car looks very straight, very settled there onto the back straight again. I'd expect to see him get a bit of momentum on Kirk Stoneman here down the back straight.
Oops, one around. And Vanderloos getting quite loose through turn 3. Stuck on that curb for now. Get the Rexton entry back underway. And this battle still continuing. Herbert on the outside of the MTF entry. Side by side with Barry. They do a good job to stay off each other. Going through turn 6. Here comes Christina All-West, getting a really good drive out of 6. On the outside, on the approach to the hairpin.
Actually looked like, again, Christina with that high line on the approach to the Husqvarna hairpin's got the run off the corner.
Here we go. We saw side-by-side racing in the dry earlier through here. Can they do it in the wet?
Easy done.
Herbert making sure that they go back to single file. Back on board with Hedge. This is for second. Whoa, this is getting really, really daring down the ITM straight. 2 wheels on the grass. Stoneman thought he had it covered. The 14-year-old had other ideas.
He's definitely committed to that. Again, he seems really strong along that front straight at this point. He's made most of his passes down there into turn 1.
Oh, this is headed to the fence in a big, big way. Rips the tray off the back. That is a nasty, nasty hit for Ken Hunter. Still pushing on with it. But that was big impact for that car. Hedge is through here. Stoneman not giving it up though. Diving on the brakes. Back down to second gear, they lean on one another. Great racing for second, and Stoneman goes back through. Great move, committed to the outside at 5, got the job done.
Just made sure that Callum Hitch had his right-hand tyres on the curb on the exit then, so he couldn't hang in there.
This will give Peter Bennett just a little bit of breathing room at the front of the field.
Now race 1 winner, Christina All-West, just slowly making progress there, now 2 up into 5th.
Let's see if Hedge can pull that same move on the front straight. Again, getting a good exit. Stoneman tries to cover. It's not quite got the momentum he had last time by. Decides to drop back in behind the Ward Demolition tailgate. We've seen plenty of the Ward Demolition signage in the Australian Ute Series this year with Peter Ward. How's the patience down here at GJ Gardner Holmes corner, waiting to get through turn 4?
Yeah, really important to maximise the straights here at Pukekohe. Well, it's important to be patient, focus on the exit. Obviously much more to be gained along the straight rather than rushing the speed between turns 3 and 4.
Looks like visibility here is a lot better, Chris, as well as Christine All-West goes up the inside at turn 5, trying to pull this car up.
Did look nervous under brakes, but she managed to get it stopped, get it rotated through the corner, but hung on the outside there.
Good scrap with Kane Barry. Barry.
It's like deja vu, I think. Christina was on the outside there a couple of laps ago. She thinks better of it, crosses back to the inside. That was well executed.
Nicely done. Slips up the inside of the Husqvarna hairpin, make sure that the car gets put on the exit curb. Job done for Christina All-West. She started 10th. She's motored up to 4th, doing a really nice job. It'll be pretty close between her and Peter Bennett on round points. Bennett first and inside the top 3 earlier today. How will Christina All-West go when it comes time to battle with Callum Hedge, the 14-year-old, sitting P3? She's got a lot of car speed, liking these conditions as the track is drying. How about this fight? Up towards the SsangYong sweeper we go. A lot of commitment. Mallard lets Matt Gibson through on the inside. Gibson, the round 1 winner from Hampton Downs last week. 2 rounds in 2 weekends for the SsangYongs. Dying stages, not many laps left in this one. Last time by the way, Rowan Shepherd, who we saw turned around in that accident down at turn 6, has set the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 40.8.
Callum Hitch there just covered on the approach to the braking zone down there. Don't want to give that inside run to Christina into turn 5. So he's looking at his mirrors. Seems to have lost a little bit of speed over the last lap or so. Kurt's managed to make a bit of a break there. Again, covers into this Husqvarna here, but he's going defensive already. And there's Rowan Shepherd up the inside. He's on a charge coming back through the field.
Vodanovic in the scholarship entry. Getting picked off here. This is pretty daring stuff. Shepherd goes through. How about Brooke? We saw him taking people on the outside of the first corner of the race. Flying into this argument now. 2 to go, and they're scrapping all the way back through the pack. Side by side through 1, 2 and 3. That was pretty impressive driving from Booth to hang on to that in the 11, but unfortunately it'll cost him a spot. And through goes Rowan Shepherd. What a comeback this has been from Shepherd so far after spinning down there at turn 6, or getting tagged I should say, at turn 6. Fairly wounded looking race car, but pulling his way back up through this pack.
He's doing a good job there. He needs to try and minimise the damage here for his championship points, and the position he can make now will make a difference at the end of the year.
Another one off down here at turn 1, and yep. A Hankook shod car going through the Dunlop sign. This is, I think, maybe what, the 10th or 11th styrofoam sign that we've seen obliterated this weekend. Impressive stuff on the slow motion replays. One to go next time by. This mid-pack battle's really where it's at. The front guys have sort of settled down a bit now, with Bennett holding a 1.4 second lead over Stoneman, Hedge, All West and Barry in 5th. All West up 6 spots. Started outside row 5, moving forward in this reverse grid race. And this is where it's really been exciting. Vodanovic with a big slide in the scholarship entry. The SsangYong dealership car. And Shepherd passing cars for fun at the moment. He goes up to 9th there with that move on Mark Mallard. Great comeback drive. Last lap. Pretty much every car in that battle pack with a scrape on it. Some missing bumpers, some missing side skirts. It's been an entertaining 12 laps, and this is the last lap of the race. They're all queuing up behind Stoneman, who started on the front row. He's held his nerve here, using all that experience you were talking about earlier, Chris.
It looks like Zool on here, though, for the last half a lap. They've definitely closed up. Callum Hedge will be weighing up his options. Best passing opportunity is probably into the Husqvarna hairpin. He needs to focus on his exit here. Ensure he doesn't get any wheel spin. Stay off the curb and painted line. Doesn't look quite close enough, though, to have a crack.
Doesn't look like we'll see any last-minute squabbling for these spots. This race settled down nicely after a fair bit of chaos. Safety car period midway for debris on the track, and a drying line here at Pukekohe Park, which is good news for hopefully some Virgin Australia Supercars action later in the day. And it's an Australian-born driver, originally from Toowoomba, that now lives here in New Zealand, that's going to get the win. Nicely done, Peter Bennett. Great drive. Kept his nerve. And before that crash happened at turn 6, he was in P6. So picking off 5 cars towards the end of the race, getting the win. Great drive, Rowan Shepherd, after being turned around, getting back to 9th. And also Murray Brook picking up a couple of spots too, in fact, on the last lap as the checkered flag comes out. They turn hard left at the end of turn 1 and go back into the support paddock. That's Pete Bennett who gets the win. Just 2 seconds from Kirk Stoneman, Callum Edge. That's another good drive from the 14-year-old. He is seriously impressive. It's Christina All West, P4. That's another good drive from Christina. She started back in 10th, got all the way back up to 4th in that race. Outside the top 10, there's a few wounded cars, but that was a very entertaining race, that one, in the SsangYong Action Racing Series. Congratulations to our race winner. Let's check out some highlights of what was a very entertaining race in the SsangYongs. How about that one around the outside at turn 1? There was always going to be some bravery on show here, and that would have been awesome if he managed to pull it off. Unfortunately, didn't quite work out. You always expect a little bit of action in the SsangYong Utes. Exactly, mate. Yeah, it was coming early. They all ran off there at turns 2 and 3, but thankfully no one's put out of the race, and everyone pressed on. Yeah, there was always going to be 1 or 2 scraps mid-pack, and the guys at the front of the field were racing each other very, very hard. And we did see the Vodafone safety car come out at one point. There it is down at turn 6. Rowan Shepherd, the pole sitter from race 1, turn around. Hedge, impressive as always, particularly with 2 wheels on the grass. Refused to go quietly, but couldn't quite capitalise throughout the race. A lot of aggression from the youngster. There was a fair bit going on back in the pack as well. Vanderloos looping it around at turn 3, and here is that move from Hedge with 2 wheels on the grass. Seriously impressive, but pushing on. And unfortunately for him, Stoneman would actually get him back late in the race. Unfortunate moment, this one. That's heavy contact at the outside of turn 11 for Ken Hunter. And the checkered flag came out for Toowoomba-born Kiwi Pete Bennett, picking up race 2. There'll be another race tomorrow morning. Congratulations to Pete on a nice drive. So that wraps up the action for race 2.